You know, I was always told that buying a guitar as an investment was like buying a car hoping it's going to appreciate. It's a stupid idea and you shouldn't do it. But let's talk about it. And specifically, I kind of want to make the case that this guitar, 10 years from now, I really think is going to be looked on as a really desirable instrument. Hello everybody, my name is Austin Randolph. If you're new to the channel, if you could hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification, whatever, that whole thing. The longer I spend making content for YouTube, the more I'm realizing how important that is and why everyone on YouTube asks, if you like what I do, please subscribe. It really does help out a lot. In addition to that, if you are on the TikTok or the Instagram, give me a follow on one of those platforms. I try to be pretty active on there as well. Last but not least, because I am a corporate shill, and I am working and have a partnership with Sweetwater, obviously, Sweetwater does not sell old Les Pauls. However, if you want to go back through my channel and in all my videos that I've done new gear that you can still buy today, I have links in the descriptions that take you to like my landing page for that gear. If you want to support me other ways or whatever, you guys know the drill. So I am here to present you with what I think is a modern classic that you can still get for relatively low money. This is a 2009 Gibson Les Paul Studio in Alpine White. Or what used to be Alpine White. Somebody clearly either played it in a really smoky room or gigged with it a lot, and it spent a lot of time in the sun or around a lot of cigarettes. So some guy on TikTok referred to the finish as nicotine yellow, which is gross, kind of, but I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool. And specifically why I think this is going to go up in value. I picked this up a few months ago from some guy in New York. I picked it up specifically because the white had faded to kind of this creamy, ivory, Randy Rhodesy looking yellow. And honestly, because it looked like he played the shit out of it. I mean, this thing has got some scuff marks on it. It's got, I don't know if the sun will catch it. It's got some good buckle rash on the back. Neck looks super played in, so it got played a lot. It looks like it got played a lot, but fit and finish wise, everything is still flawless. And as far as looks go, I really think that's the primary reason why this particular model I think will be valuable in the future. So in the 90s, when Gibson was making all the Les Paul Studios, they would put an ebony board on most, if not all of them. They stopped that in 1998, I think, and moving forward, all the studios got rosewood, including like the worn cherry and brown that they did kind of in this era. That was cheaper. I don't remember much about them. But they kept the ebony boards going just for the white ones, because there is just something about a white Les Paul with gold hardware. A rosewood board on it, it doesn't look at place. The colors kind of bleed together, and it's having a black board looks so much better with a white guitar. So they kept doing it through 2011, I think, but just with the Alpine White models. This really wouldn't be the case with me thinking it's going to inflate in value, except for, I think last year, Gibson discontinued the Les Paul Studio. So the model doesn't exist anymore. It's like now the Les Paul Modern Light or something like that. And because it's 2024, they ratcheted the price up to, I think they start at $2,000. $2,000 is a lot to get into the Gibson brand. I mean, the Studio was always supposed to be like the approachable, no frills, not fancy, but gives you all the skeletal structure of your classic Les Paul. And you still kind of get it in the Modern Light, but in a version that I don't know if it's going to age like the timeless classic that the Les Paul Studio is. So I paid $1,000 for this. It was either like $1,000 or $950 or something like that. It's rare that I get a guitar, I play it for a couple hours, and I go, this feels way more expensive than a $1,000 guitar. But this is one of those cases. I mean, this it plays like every vintage, really expensive Les Paul that anybody's ever been nice enough to put like in my dumbass lap and let like play around on it. This feels like a vintage instrument is my point. Whether maybe it's just because the white nitro is sensitive, but the way it ages I feel like is so graceful, if that makes sense. And the gold hardware, the way it ages, I also think it shows its age, which in a timeless guitar model like this is really kind of desirable to a whole lot of people. And man, just the fact that they went out of their way to put the better fretboard wood on this color because it looks better, I think really kind of speaks volumes to the attention paid to this very specific model. Pickups are 490R, 490T. They've been making them forever. Medium output Gibson humbucker. People kind of talk shit about the 490s a little bit, and I don't know why. They're a really great, well-rounded pickup. The neck profile, fat enough to fill my hand, but not big enough to be uncomfortable at all. It's a really, really playable neck. Look, man, it's got the Gibson Deluxe tuners that they put on everything forever. It stays in tune. It sounds amazing. It plays remarkably well, and it has just aged to look like a vintage cool Les Paul, which is the whole idea of why I'm talking about it. I looked around on Reverb right before hitting the record button on my phone, and they're going right now. You can still find a handful of them, like in the few years around here. They're still going for like $1,000, $1,200 right now. And my prediction really hedges on the Modern Light not necessarily being an instant classic, and people, like they always have, still having a desire for a cool, old, vintage feeling instrument. You just get a certain swagger when you play a guitar that is old, feels old, looks old. I don't know how to explain it. However, I do know that I get the swagger with this, and I think a lot of people do. And I think that's why people pay John Murphy at Gibson a whole bunch of money to relic guitars and age guitars. I think it's why people buy and spend so much money on reissues of, like, 56 Les Pauls, 58 Les Pauls, 59 Les Pauls. Like, Fender, same thing, 1963 to 54, or I guess the other way around to be linear, but you get my point. These are going for like $1,200 right now, which I think is just a ridiculous steal for the instrument you're getting. And I think that I'm calling it right now, that in like 10, 15 years, these are going to be incredibly desirable and maybe like somewhat looked upon as like a classic Gibson model. Am I making a prediction as far as monetary value? No. However, I am making a prediction that if I ever do get rid of this in 10, 15 years, it will be worth more than the $1,000 I paid for it. So, if you guys think I am insane, I'm out of my mind, I don't know what I'm talking about, feel free to let me know in the comments. It's really good for engagement. And, like, share, blah, 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 all the other stuff people say. But it really boils down to, if you guys have an old Les Paul Studio, white with the ebony board, what do you think? Let me know. So that's all I got, everybody. Like I said, follow me on platforms, subscribe, all that good stuff. But that's my little rant, my little thought for the week is that as far as an investment goes, I feel pretty good about this one.